Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Yay! Hey there, Flynn, Jocelyn. So glad to have you here. It is time. It's Transformational Tip Tuesday. We got a full show for you today. I think this is one of the most important shows that I have written. I'm just going to say it. This concept, should you grasp it, will change your life. And I know this from personal experience because it did for me. Catherine, I'm delighted to see you, and Nancy as well. We're here in the house. We're doing our thing. So today, we're going to be unpacking a little bit more about the cost, how we're always having to pay the cost. There is no free pass, but that's okay, right? That's okay, because when we understand that there is no free lunch, we can save up for it a little bit. Is that true? Hey, Chris, Diane, Sue, good to have you all here. And Martha's in the house too. Our lovely Martha. Very fun to have you here. Just talking to Amber just before we got on, and we are getting close and down to the wire. Y'all, Full Bloom is around the corner. Now, hear me. If you are coming to Full Bloom, my biggest thing that I can do, and I'll do one of these, like I'm a pope or something, and that is to endow you with personal responsibility. It is, in other words, we are supplying the venue. We will get you in the gate. We will do all the things, but it is up to you to coordinate with your people to get here. We will not do your coordinating for you. We will not be picking you up from the airport. We will not be solving your problems for you. And I'm saying this with so much love, but also with the fact that we are all here at Saving Dinner. We're up to here. We got a lot of planning to do still. We have a lot of things on our docket. This is not one of them. So remember, if you're driving, if you are a driver and you're going to have people in your car, we're going to just call you the captain of your universe there. And you can coordinate all the people that are going to be in your car. You can let us know. We are going to have a post in our Facebook group so that you can do all the coordination and all the master whatever. If there is an emergency and you need to get a hold of someone or what have you, find within each other. It's not from the Saving Dinner team. It's somebody that is in your peer group, okay? We can't do your emergencies. We can't, because we are finite individuals. And so I am just saying to you, please, my lovelies, be personally responsible and figure this out among yourselves. Exchange information and exchange your text messages and what have you. And this is how we get things done. And if you need more personal empowerment, just pop me an email. I'll give it to you. All right. Yeah, Nancy said her slumber party is going to be splendid. They are going to have quite the slumber party at Nancy's place. I already know who's in that house. That's going to be a fun house to be at. I might have to go crash that party. And cheers, Nancy, to you, by the way. I left my hot milk mix upstairs, so I'm just going to do it, magically without it. What else can I tell you? We have a page where we put all the things at savingdinner.com/announcements. Now, the announcement page has the quote of the day, quote of the week, rather. It's got all the information, Full Bloom, all of the stuff. And it's all right there. Anything that you might need, it'll be there. Okay. So that is for you. We have set that up specifically for you. If there is anything ever that you need from us that we can help you with, you can always send an email to support@savingdinner.com and we will answer it too sweet. That's how we roll. Have you been watching us on TikTok, by the way? Psst, 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 psst. We're fired, baby. You should be checking that out. We got a lot going on over there, and I'm going to do some more content later on today. There's my girl, Lizzie. Gosh, it's good to see you. And don't forget, because Lizzie had mentioned that too in the thing, it is a week from this Saturday is when Full Bloom is. But we are going to be, if you're here in the in-person event, boy, Friday night, we're going to be rocking it down at the boat and the whole bit. So all I can say is I wish you were all going to be there. You included, Lizzie. But we'll take you virtually too. Savingdinner.com/bloom for all the details if you want to be a part of this situation. All right. So shall we get to the content for today? Today, we are all about talking about the cost and the pain we pay in order to leverage the life we want. There is no such thing as a pain-free life. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go live as well on TikTok, So hello, TikTok. It's been a minute, but we're back with the Daily Dish and welcome. And also welcome to everybody at YouTube and Facebook. We are, of course, delighted that you're here and appreciate your support. So we're going to be talking about the cost, the pain that we all experience one way or another in order to leverage and to have the type of vibrant life that we want. We know that it doesn't come free. It just doesn't. It costs something. But today we're going to get into the weeds a little bit and talk about harmony. This is a big one. How often do you sit there and you say, yeah, let's talk about harmony? I mean, do you ever say that to your friends? You say, let's just get together, we'll have a little wine and book club, and let's talk about harmony. We don't talk about harmony. And yet we all strive to live in harmony. So what I say is that harmony is an end result of the deliberate creation that we're trying to make here. That's what it is. It is the end result. It is a consequence of living your life in such a vibrant way that things all fall into place. And harmony is one of those delightful consequences. Don't you love that? I think that's so pretty. I really do. I mean, you can almost hear it and it just sounds so beautiful. Harmony, living in harmony. So here's what the dictionary says that harmony is, which I think is interesting. The combination of simultaneous musical notes to produce a pleasing musical effect. We know that. Like I said, you can almost hear it, right? Number 2 is the agreement, accord, harmonious relationship, congruity, a pleasing, consistent, orderly arrangement of parts. So good. So, like I said, harmony is a deliberate creation. That's it. Point taken, right? This is exactly what the truth is. But it is also the willingness to be the conductor of your own life and to fine-tune the section of the orchestra of your life that might be a little bit out of whack. Have you noticed that? That as much as we like this notion, this idea of living in harmony, that we find ourselves a little bit out of whack, a little bit out of step, a little bit something's off. And that's because we're out of tune with the rest of what it is that we want. And oftentimes what happens is that we have this idea in our heads, this is what we want, and then we live in a completely incongruent way that puts us in conflict, that doesn't lead us to the place of harmony. So when we're out of conflict with everything, then we need to know that we have to go back to that original premise. Everything has a cost. Everything also has a risk. Have you noticed that? Everything has a risk. And in living the vibrant life that we all want, the risk has to be taken into an account. This is where your amygdala goes off the hook, by the way. And your amygdala starts talking to you and saying, I don't know about that. Now, I don't know if we want to do that. That's risk. That's too much risk for me. Oh, danger, scared. I don't know. I like to keep things the same because that's what our amygdala does, trying to keep us safe. But the cost levied is also the same, some type of pain, whether it is depending on what it is. So let's just say you're going for physical fitness or what have you. You will have sore muscles and you will have to say no to maybe some treats that you would once upon a time used to enjoy, popcorn on the couch with the fam or some ice cream after dinner. But if you're going to be pursuing health or fitness goals, you're going to have to say no to some things and yes to other things. And there will be a cost, of course, incurred. So both of them have their own unique pain points. Right? Am I right? Anybody ever suffer from pain, from muscle aches? And by the way, for those of you who are part of my L-glutamine tribe, we have a lot of people who take L-glutamine. L-glutamine is also extraordinary for muscle recovery. So I put mine in a water bottle as well. I put a scoop of L-glutamine in a water bottle along with some hot melt mix. Makes all the difference in the world with those electrolytes and everything. But living in harmony requires an inner lens so you can access yourself. This is the part that we skip so often. Now, we might have an overall picture of whatever's going on, but how often are we willing to get into the weeds and look at everything and go under the microscope and say, this is what's going on? And oftentimes, if we even do have the guts to do that, what usually ensues after that is a whole lot of self-flagellation, of putting yourself down, beating yourself up, saying you're not good enough, all kinds of garbage. What we need to do is master the art of analysis. This is something that we don't need to be beating ourselves up with just because we had the courage, by the way, to look. If we have the courage to look, then we have the courage to see and to change things up in order to bring about the changes exactly that we want, even with the pain. So here's another thing too. If you've been a people pleaser or a fixer, trying to fix others, anybody ever do that? I don't know. Me, am I the only one here? Pinkies up if this is you. If you've been a fixer or a people pleaser, oftentimes people pleasing and fixing go hand in hand. They're just the 1-2 punch. But if you try to fix others before yourself, there's this thing called cacophony. Have you ever heard of that? Cacophony. It's a great word, and it means that it is completely out of harmony. Completely out of harmony. And it just sounds like you're just going like this, like, whoa, I don't want to listen to that. But that's what we do to ourselves. That's what we do to our lives. That's what happens when we're in this place of people pleasing and people fixing. And the funny thing is that that might be our focus, but the neglect is on ourselves. And the neglect of what's going on with ourselves then keeps our focus elsewhere. And we don't get to the place where we want to go. So we got to take a look at that. So what can we do then to create our own personal harmony? I like this. Do you see? Look at all this. Our electricity is kind of going a little wacky doodle. I don't know what that's about. Andrew Murphy said this. This is so good. You are confined only by the walls you build yourself. You've heard that one? Have you also heard the one that, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek? That's a Joseph Campbell quote. This is all what this is. This is how we create harmony, is that we have to take a look at the fears that we have and also the walls that we build. It's just that simple. Norman Vincent Peale, you remember him? He shook the world in 1952 when he came out with his book, The Power of Positive Thinking. It was basically a book that promotes a different, less realistic approach to life. And that was the big critique back in the day. Everybody thought, well, that's not very realistic, you know. But he was a minister promoting the power of visualization and affirmations using biblical context in his case studies. I mean, if you look through all of that, you're going to see it. I mean, it's all there. And the other thing that I would just say to you, if you've never read this book, which is a classic, I strongly suggest everybody reads it. It's free. You can find a PDF. Just put Think and Grow Rich or The Power of Positive Thinking plus PDF in your Google search, and boom, you'll find it. And you can download it, you can print it, you can, whatever. But you can read that book, and it's just quite an eye-opener. And the gist of the book is how to become the creators of our own personal harmony. To become the creators of our own personal harmony, we got to get in the weeds. That's all. We got to get in the weeds. And let me see how many things I wrote down here. I think five things. These are gold. You can take these ones to the bank. Number one, I'm going to repeat this one, and I'm going to ask you to write this down. This little statement here can be life-changing. Make decisions that reflect your worth, not your fears. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Make decisions that reflect your worth and not your fears. In other words, your focus has to be on the worthiness of yourself, of the self-love that you have for yourself, and of who you are. Make decisions that reflect your worth and not your fears. Yes, Mama, and thank you for writing that one down. That one is powerful. Meditate on that. Write this in your journal and start looking and start asking yourself, what am I focused on? Are my decisions being made based on fear, or are they made based on self-worth? It's a big question. Number two is accept people as they are and stop trying to change them. I cannot think of a more worthless endeavor. I'm dead serious. I cannot think of anything that has more, it's just like, I don't know, peeing in the wind or something, and it just comes all right back at you. That's a gross analogy, isn't it? But it's true. Nobody wants to be downwind of that. It's time for us to leave it all alone. We don't get to fix people. Guess God did not endow you with that. He didn't say, you know what, you over there, here's your pencil, start erasing things that you don't like about this person. No, he didn't. As a matter of fact, he tells us to get our face on ourselves and on our own stuff and our own garbage. We've got enough. I don't know about you. I got enough right here to deal with. I don't need to fix y'all. I don't need to fix anybody. I don't have that kind of energy, and I am not, last time I checked, I'm not endowed with extra power to do so. And either are you. And yet we spend so much time on this. So we need to let that go. And we need to not tell them this is what they should do. There's no should here. Stop shoulding on yourself and everybody else. Back off. Most of the time, this is none of your business. And even including your grown kids, they have their lives to live, and they need to do it in the way that they feel is the best way. And your face and your foot and you're pushing yourself into it and choosing that you're going to either love them or dismiss them based on your decision on their worthiness because of the decisions they make. That's not love, by the way. That is not love. Keep that in mind. We want to love fully with all of our hearts. That is our call. That's one of our purposes. That's why we're here on this earth, to love one another. That gets really lost in translation a lot. Number 3 is to be the change. You remember the Gandhi quote? Be the change you wish to see in the world. Make that in your world. Again, We have to come full circle, and we have to come back to, where is it that we have our influence? We love people up. You want to influence somebody, you want to maybe help change them or whatever, start loving them. Start loving them up. Start loving them up in just a way with a heart full of gratitude, with a heart that is overflowing with empathy. Even if you don't agree with them, you can still love them up. And I will tell you, love never fails. Has anybody ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that love has never, ever, ever failed? Keep loving, because there's so little of that in this world. We need more. And if we get more love in the world, we get more harmony in the world, and we get more harmony within. It will never, ever, ever fail you. Number 4, no one can make you feel bad without their permission. Do you remember that quote from Eleanor Roosevelt? You can thank her for that one. It is a cosmic 2x4. You give permission if you feel bad about somebody saying something to you or somebody slighting you. You give full permission to allow them to make you feel bad, if you feel bad about it. Otherwise, dismiss it. You have the full right to dismiss that. You know, again, if we go to this place and make a decision that we are no longer people pleasers and we're no longer going to allow people to shit on us, then we'll find ourselves in the place where no one can make us feel bad. We've just changed our minds about the whole thing. And that is freedom right there, my friends, and harmony. Number 5 is expand the borders of your heart. For heaven's sakes, it's time to become the most empathetic version of yourself. It is. When you expand the borders of your heart, you expand the borders of your mind. You expand the borders of your body. You expand the borders of your soul. You have made a decision and you have announced that you are going to feel better. You have. And you have announced that you are also going to allow and bring forth harmony in your life. That's what you've done. Because, again, love never fails. And the empathy that we have for one another is great care and great love. The kind of love that God gives us, that we get to be the people, God's hands and feet. That's how this whole thing works. And I know you're just like me, observing from a distance and seeing this as well. There is a lot of missing empathy in this world today. There is a lot of missing love. There is a lot of missing tenderness. We can change that by changing ourselves. So when we're talking about this whole thing, we're talking about all the things: heart, mind, body, and soul. But this is something that we need to bring into congruity all with each other. And this is what I call an alignment assignment, because when we are out of whack with one thing, we're out of whack with everything, right? So when we're eating our food, for example, and we're not at Saving Dinner, we're not about a prescribed diet and all this. What we are about is anti-inflammatory, because we understand, just due to the sheer science, that is the thing that's going to make you feel better. That's the thing that's going to cool inflammation and help your body to do its natural thing. And you just naturally will feel better eating an anti-inflammatory diet. But I also say that this is how you eat like you love yourself. When we're eating food that we know is lighting us up like the 4th of July, when we're eating food that we know is just an addictive cycle, well, we have ways of fixing that. You know about that with L-glutamine. When we're doing all of this, we're out of congruency with ourselves and with what it is that we truly, truly want. Because nobody wants to be out of congruency with themselves. Nobody wants to be living a secondary life. Nobody wants to be living a life on default. We want to be eating like we love ourselves. We want to start meditating and connecting with the heart center of who we are, right? What's wrong with that? Have you ever taken the time to do that and just really noticed how grounding that is? We want to read so that we can become more knowledgeable. We want to sleep and hydrate and move because we want to honor these bodies of ours. This is how harmony is created, by the way. It is heart, mind, body, and soul. It's not one thing, it's all the things. And that's not to pile on. That's just to say that we are addressing ourselves as the whole. So Harold Kushner, have you ever read he was an American rabbi and author of When Bad Things Happen to Good People? This quote is just mind-boggling. Our souls are not hungry for fame, comfort, wealth, or power. Our souls are hungry for meaning, for the sense that we have figured out how to live so that our lives matter. Now, to me, that's vibrancy right there, because that too is harmony. And this is our quest to live our lives in that kind of alignment. So remember, if one thing is off, it's all off. And start taking a look and examining with a lens that says, okay, so what's up here? And remember, you never have a reason to beat yourself up. You're lovely and beautiful just the way you are. And going this route and being able to analyze without being paralyzed by the information and or allowing it to beat ourselves up is one of the keys to getting to the next level up that you want to go. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. And this is exactly what we're talking about. When we're in harmony with ourselves, it's all the things: heart, mind, body, and soul. I hope that helped you today. It helped me. I needed to read this. I sure needed this. If you have questions about anything ever, remember you can always pop us an email at support@savingdinner.com. If you have any questions about the event coming up, Full Bloom coming up, goodness gracious, send it now because we are filling up, and I'd sure love to have you here though. Remember, you can find that at savingdinner.com/bloom. It's going to be an event. You'll have to check it out. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much, TikTok, for joining us today. And thank you, YouTube and Facebook. You are the best. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.